Hey friends! Happy evening. I don't do this in the evening, but guess what? I am today because it's Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. I'm not sure. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. So happy day. Of course, this is right when the door is going to open. It's no problem. I have a question for you guys, and I want to know your answer on here. So as people start to jump on, I'm curious, just below this, there's something that they say at the end of every single one of our yoga classes, and you're like laying there and you're super relaxed, and they end it and they say, if you have the gift of time. And every single time it makes me think, and I'm like, and I process it, and then I just decide not to think about it. But today I decided we're thinking about this, and we're thinking about it together, including you guys and me. So number one, if automatically before I start talking you think you have the gift of time, or you have an opinion about that, write it below. But write a gift if you think that you have that. Just like, can you find the gift button? Or maybe just a thumbs up if you think that you do, because everybody can find the thumbs up button. But I'm curious, do you think that you have the gift of time? Put that underneath there. Then I'll tell you my opinion, and then I want to know what your opinion is. So I would love to, tap to invite to join her as a guest. Here, I don't even know what that means. Oh, you guys could talk now? That's super cool. Okay, never mind. I'm distracted by how these videos work. Okay, so we're laying there, right? So this is what happens. You're laying at the end of your class. And guys, by the way, remember how I wanted to do yoga? Today I wanted to do yoga. It's week 3. And I was excited to go. And I had to even skip and go later because I was so excited at the club. Thanks, Scott. Thumbs up. Love you, man. And I was excited to actually be there and go. And I discovered that I actually enjoy the evening time because it's, whatever time this is of the day. It's super relaxing. But so you're sitting there at the end of class. And for me, I'm laying in this Shavasana. I don't know what all the words are, so don't make fun of me because I still can't figure it out. I don't know anything but that I'm bad at downward dog. And I'm laying there in this pool of sweat, right? You're laying there and if you have the gift of time, then, stay here as long as you like, or something along those lines. It seems like every instructor says it. And I lay there and I'm if I had the gift of time, heck yeah, I've got the gift of time. I'd love to lay here in my pool of sweat for another 5 minutes and go through my prosperity plan and go through who I want to be and just get in my head. And I'm yes, this feels so good. And then I hear the other mats, sticky mats being rolled up, and then I hear people trying to tiptoe around and people squirting their water bottles that are getting up, and I'm then I get out of my head, my space that I'm in, and I'm wait, do they not have the gift of time? And now I'm thinking, right, instead of doing my prosperity plan and getting in my own space, they said if you have the gift of time, then you can hang out and then be in your own space. And it feels so good, guys. But these guys don't have the gift of time. And then I'm hearing this guy walk around. Sorry about that. And then I'm confused. I'm well, should I not have the gift of time? Should I be getting up? Should I be doing something else? I know I'm busy. I've got 8 million things, projects galore. I'm stressed. I've got so much cool stuff going on. So I should be getting up and doing whatever. But then I feel I want to be here in this space. So I was evaluating, if I have the gift of time. So what is your guys' opinion on that? When they say, if you have this, what does that make you feel? First of all, because I started to pick it apart and just do my intake on what does that really mean? And in church, Jim always picks apart the sentences, right? Although it's more complicated words than if you and have the gift of time. Those are pretty simple things. I don't need to break out a dictionary and tell you what each thing means. But I was thinking about those things. And the first thing I was thinking about was the if portion of that. So if there's going to be there's a yes or a no. So there's a do you or do you not? And my answer to that right away is if you have it, there's no question you have time. There is time. We all have the same amount of time. I've done videos about this before. So to me, the if portion doesn't make too much sense if it's applying to time. If and time, I'm yes, we have, and I did the math there. It's 86,400 seconds. We all have 24 hours. We all have 60 minutes in every hour, and we all have 60 seconds in every single hour or minute. Guys, still work with my brain. It's fine, right? So we all have this exact same amount of time. So if that's the case, then what's this if we have the gift of time? Because we have the time. So then I broke it down to the next spot. And I was all right, so we all have time. then it's like, it's the portion of you having, and like you have, like, this is where I was thinking, this is true. Like, this is a true part of the statement. It's probably the truest portion of distinguishing you versus me. So on here, Rhonda, you versus Carly versus Lauren versus Pedro versus Crystal versus me versus Scott, whoever else is still on, still watching, right? You guys are, what we do with our day and our hours and our time is absolutely different. And what we choose to make of those minutes is absolutely different. So what you're going through, Lauren, is completely different than what I'm going through, right? Where life is hitting you, I don't know where life is hitting you right now. I don't know how busy your schedule is. I don't know what's happening in your space. I don't know what illnesses are hitting your family, what deaths are hitting your family, what complications are hitting you right now. I don't know how much you have to work. I'm not really sure. So your gift, what you have versus what I have, there could be different things that are filling our time space, right? So that portion starts to make a little bit more sense to me, guys. We're breaking down the if you have the gift of time from the end of my yoga here, and that started to make a little bit more sense. But then I was thinking too, and there are definitely exceptions to this, but I'm going to say the majority of people who are on here, and you start to evaluate those 86,400 or whatever it was, my short-term memory is still not there, those seconds that you have in the day, that a lot of us, we have a lot of hours, like this chunk during this day where it is so crazy busy. Like, I get it. Like, you wake up and your alarm clock goes off at 6 and you have to make breakfast for the kids, and you got packed lunches, and then you got to get them out the door, and then you've got carpool, and then you've got to get to the office and fight traffic, and then you get to the office and you have meetings, and then you've got to get all this stuff done, and you have to rush through rush hour traffic to get home, to try to pick up the kids, to get to carpool, to get into sports, and to make dinner. Like, I get it, right? So like, that can be what your life looks like. Like, if I have the gift of time, like, no, Callie, like, my automatic response is I do not have the gift of time. I'm busy all the time. The gift of time, like the fact that you get to go to a yoga class, is nuts. Like, good for you, right? So there could be some different opinions flowing, and I think that a lot of us like have felt like we've been in these different spaces of the journey at different times. So I guess I'm sharing this with you because there's choices you can make along these paths that might be able to change what your perception is. So in all of that, you have all those busyness, like all of that stuff that happens throughout the day. But I can bet you, sorry, the birds are crazy here today. They're crazy. I can bet you that at the end of the day, there's a portion where you have the like, sit down moment. And for most people, a lot of people, that's the sit down into their couch moment. That's the flip onto their phone now to start scrolling social media. What's the world up to? Facebook moment. That's the I'm going to catch up on this show moment. That's the I'm going to like completely check out. And there, what I want you to maybe take a realization of, or what I'm like looking at, is, do you have the gift of time? If you have the gift of time, right there, there's this little pocket of time, and you're filling it with something. We're filling every single one of us is filling every single one of those 86,400. Why do I keep forgetting? Every single one of us is filling every one of those seconds with something. Every second, we are choosing to fill it with something along the entire journey. So if that's your pocket of time, then yeah, maybe a 3 p.m. yoga class with 5 extra minutes at the end of it to lay there in Shavasana in your own sweat pool isn't going to be your thing. But it doesn't have to be your thing. It's not really about the yoga. It's not about that space, but it's about, if you have the gift of time, like, what does that mean to you? What are you doing with those minutes? What are you doing with those times where you could maybe enjoy or live? So this is where I thought it got interesting. To me, I started changing things. So if you have, so I say, yes, you absolutely do have. And you being, I know your story is completely different than mine, right? The gift, right? And this is where I choose to put in the terms, if you choose to have the gift. And the reason why I say that is because I think that you make choices. We all make choices throughout the day that lead us to a certain point where you're choosing to fill each one of your seconds. You're choosing to fill each one of your minutes and hours with something. And I don't know what you're choosing. And you might not know what you're choosing right now either. Maybe you're, gosh, dang, birds. They're going to attack me or something, guys. I might need help. If I just start flailing over here. I'm going to need somebody to come on over to the farm and pick me up from these birds. Okay, I'm not sure what you're choosing to do with those gifts, those pockets of time, because yes, we have to take care of responsibilities and we do different things, but when you're given those pockets, those moments, what are you filling them with? Like, do you fill your gift of time with learning to love more, with working on new skills, with working on further success, with improving your family, with improving a relationship, with laughter, with relaxation? What are you filling your gift of time with? Because that's where I'm talking about you're making the choice. So if you guys choose to share on here, I think it's really helpful. We'll do this in one of our challenges, where we'll share with one another. What do you choose when you feel like you're making the right choice? Sometimes you're like, maybe I'm not really choosing those things. When you feel like you're really making a positive choice, what are you filling your gift of time with? Like, what are some things that you do positively for yourself when you know, like, some days you're like, well, I messed that one up. Like, I got home and from 7 to 11, I just sat on the couch and watched somebody else do life and played on my phone and watched those people do life instead of doing any of my own life. But then there's the next night where you're like, you know what? Tonight I got out of my own way and I took a dance class that I had been wanting to do, or I took me and the husband went out on a late date. We got a babysitter and we got to go out last night and we got to work on a relationship. Or I picked up a Spanish book. I'm taking some extra classes here. Like, what have you done where you feel like you're using your gift of time that you're given, right? And then to kind of like wrap this up towards the end here, the gift piece of it, guys, I truly believe that word was meant to be there just as it is, because time is a gift. It's absolutely a gift. And you guys are all, I'm sure that every single one of you has been hit really hard with someone who was cut short on their time, right? Where you feel like they were cut short on their time, but they don't have any time left. And you don't know how much time you're going to be given. You don't know if this moment in this video is one of the last that you'll watch. You don't know if you have 80 more years of time that you get gifted to you. So really the time being a gift, like your time is absolutely a gift. And in my eyes, guys, it's a God-given gift that I choose to appreciate. And I'm learning so much more, like each and every day. I've gone through a lot of different waves in my life, guys, where I've just been so busy, just in the grind, working towards something. And instead of being in that, like experiencing the gift of time, I've just been going after something. And I don't know if I can truly make that make sense for you guys, but what I've learned is now throughout my journey of my gift of time, my 86,400, I keep changing the number, seconds that I have in a day, I choose that every one of those is a gift. Every second that I get is a God-given gift that I get to experience, that I get to be a part of, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And when they say, if you have the gift of time at the end of my yoga class, I'm going to say, hell yes, I do. And I'm going to lay in my pool of sweat and I'm going to breathe deep and just enjoy and be in the minute and just slow down just for a second, right? And just experience and say, I get these couple minutes to refresh my mind, my body, my soul, so I can come out of here a better person. I'm going to take this gift that I was given and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna be a better person after this. So if you have the gift of time, stay after, right? When I hear that every day, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay there now, and not just in my yoga class, but just in life. If I choose to accept God's given gift of time, if I choose to accept God's given gift of time, and I'm going to lay there and I'm going to decide whether or not do I choose to be in this moment? Do I choose to be in this experience? Do I choose to grow and learn from this? And if there's portions of the day where I can't, no, I got to go and get to this, no problem. Because guess what? I'm going to choose to give myself to that next moment. I'm going to choose to fully be in that next place that I'm going to be in. And to kind of have an application with that for you guys, I just think that when you're given the gift of time and you have that, maybe take a look at your day. Take a look at those, your schedule, your 24 hours, your 60 minutes and your 60 seconds that you're given, and look at what you're filling them with and think, could you make some different decisions that would make you feel more fulfilled? Could you make some different decisions that would make you feel more excited and passionate every life? Do you really understand what your purpose is? I've been listening to Grant Cardone Nardone lately, which is weird that it ties in with this message, but it totally does. And he's talking about how when you feel like you start to burn out or you lose your luster and you don't feel like jacked up and excited, I always say that you've lost your passion a bit. And if you can't directly identify what your passion is right now, like what you're just really excited about, then it's going to be difficult for you to go after things. So for you to really accept and choose to accept the gift of time, you need to know what your purpose and your passion is. So take some minutes, take some of those quiet minutes, just maybe a challenge for you guys over the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours, the next 86,400 seconds, and see if you can carve out a few of those seconds to think for a little bit. And look at what you're doing. Like maybe I've done this before where you like write down what did you do in the last 24 hours and where did you have some time that maybe you didn't feel exactly how you would want to. If you looked at it again and said, what if this was my last because I did get this gift of this day? How could I do something a little bit different? So I do choose to accept God's given gift of time and experience it and do everything that I can to improve my relationships, improve my laughter, improve my love, improve my servitude, improve my my success, go after new things, learn new things, get out of my own way, get out of my comfort zone. So just a challenge, guys. What can you do to do a little bit more of that? Thank you for sharing a few minutes with me this afternoon and giving me some of your gift-given time. And if you decide to take a yoga class and they ask you at the end of it, if you have the gift of time, I want you to just change that and say, I choose to have this God-given moment and I'm going to lay here in my pool of sweat and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. See how I mix those two? Just like that. All right. I'm Callie. I don't know. I know most of you guys. Some of you I'm just getting to know, and I'm going to meet you down the path sometime, and I would love to. If you ever want to join our I Am Challenge, we talk about these types of things and just improving your mind, and we go through the body, soul. I also do my body transformations. We got our free fit camps that are all over the place right now, and just a ton of cool stuff. So that's all I got for you. I love your faces, hearts all the way, and I'm going to go. The birds are quiet now. I don't know. I'm going to go see what's going on over there. Thank you guys for joining me.